Honestly, I would be surprised if you have not seen these watercolors at some point somewhere in the artist community on YouTube. These are the Kuretakie Gansai Tambi watercolors. This is the 36 pan set, and I've been wanting to try these for a long time. With so many people asking me what the best watercolors are for beginners, cheap price, good quality, I've been wanting to try these for so long because I've heard about them. For only $28.99 US dollars on Amazon.ca, we have the 36 set of watercolors. Ooh. And actually on the back of the top of this, we have a swatching paper, or just like a chart where you can swatch your watercolors, which I find really convenient. Usually watercolor sets have a separate piece of paper or none at all to swatch your colors on. So it's really cool to have it on a piece of paper that is stuck to your set so you won't lose it, and it's conveniently with you at all times. So we will definitely be swatching these in a bit. It also comes with this plastic sheet. I don't know if it's to protect your swatches from maybe possible wet paint, or if it actually acts as a palette for you to mix colors on. I'm really not sure because there are grooves there, but that's kind of interesting. I've never seen that before. Could be a makeshift palette. I don't know. And then of course we have our 36 set, wow, of colors. These are in Japanese, but on the color swatches you do have English, so that's always good to have English there if you don't speak Japanese. So we have a lot of colors here, lots of blues and greens and reds. I love it. Let's actually take a peek at these big pans. So as you can see, these pans are absolutely huge. If you don't know what a normal, this is a half pan, and this is just, I guess, your Kuretake pan. I do know that they are quite shallow. They almost look about the same size, but to be honest, I'm pretty sure these, as you can see, this one is filled to the brim with paint, and this one is not filled to the brim with paint. So how much paint is actually in here compared to here? I'm not sure, but it is nice to have that big surface area to put your brush on, because having to work with such a small area to get paint can be kind of tricky. So I can appreciate these really big pans to put your brush in, but as far as volume goes of paint, it's hard to say. I mean, maybe there's more in here, but honestly, it's a very thin layer of paint. I have seen these actually busted and in pieces. It's a very thin piece, so I don't know, but we'll see eventually if I get through them. Kuretake also makes watercolors in metallic gold colors and also just shimmery pearl colors in a variety of rainbow colors, but it looks like this set also comes with some gold, bronze, and silver, as well as a white watercolor, which is very interesting. Another feature I found really interesting about this set of watercolors is just how much space it takes up on your desk. Because they are such flat, wide pans, it takes up a lot of space, and that is really interesting if you don't have a very large desk like I do. So it's something to consider, I suppose, but I also do find it really fun that you can take out the waters that you're using, or the watercolors, and just have what you need around. So that's actually pretty cool. And also in the back, if you do lose track of them, they are labeled once again. And if you don't speak Japanese, there are numbers. So this is 63 and this is 62. Okay, to be honest, I am very anxious to get to swatching and also creating an art piece with these. So let's get to it. Let's swatch the back of our container and see what these guys are like. Before I got into swatching the colors, I did notice something, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Some of the colors had a different texture on the surface of the pan. Some of them had bumps, some of them had air bubbles, especially the metallics. They were very airy. Some of them had a crack in it. I don't know anything about watercolor ingredients, but I do wonder if this has anything to do with what they use with their watercolors. I've just never seen such a variety of textures on the surface of colored pans before. Anyways, moving on to the swatching. So I don't know that whatever paper they used on the back of this top for swatching was the best for watercolor. It was very smooth, almost slippery, and you want something to absorb watercolors with, which this wasn't the best. So I think it kind of altered the way I felt about some of the quality of these watercolors. Initially, I did think a couple of the darker colors were kind of slimy feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but it definitely felt like cheaper. It was hard to get a smooth flat with them because the paper wasn't wanting to absorb it, so I wasn't judging them too harshly yet. Aside from that, these colors were very easy to activate. They were very colorful, very bright, very vivid. So far, I was impressed. So to be honest, I'm really not sure what to draw. What I was thinking though is that it is still summer, and summer has a lot of colorful foods, and I do want to make sure that you use a variety of these colors, because depending on if you use either the darker or the lighter colors, the quality of the watercolors can drastically vary between dark and light colors. So I do want to make sure that I get a variety of colors in this illustration. So I was thinking food could be a good thing, and summer is really good for having a variety of colors of food, but I wasn't really sure. I didn't want to just do a bunch of different foods on the paper, so I thought it would be fun to draw, I guess, a raccoon busting out of a trash can and there being different kinds of foods flying around it. So I guess that's what we're doing. We're gonna do that, just a silly, fun illustration to test these watercolors. I really need to look up a raccoon reference because I don't know what I'm drawing. Okay, so now that we've got our big bootied raccoon character done, I think it would be fun to give him a couple of sidekicks. So he's gonna need like a worm friend, I think. I'll just have him popping out the side here. So there we've got a worm friend. Maybe we can get a little fly friend. All right. And I was also thinking like a bird, because trash and birds. So I was thinking if I found the center and I drew a circle, I could draw food and trash going around them. I feel like this is going to be much smaller of a detailed illustration than I'd like it to be, especially because I want to show how these watercolors can work, and I'm making small intricate details, but that's fine. So I'm gonna start drawing different things, and I might draw them a little bigger than they're supposed to be, just because, like I said, I was hoping more to show off what these watercolors can do. I'm drawing so small, it seems kind of silly. Ice cream cone, or an ice cream cone that's fallen on the ground. Well, actually now it's swirling around in a circle, so oh well. Why not? A single spaghetti and a meatball. Yum. A jar of mysterious jam or something? Let's get some rotten eggs in here. Though, oh, I was gonna say, well, rotten egg doesn't really show watercolor, it's white. But if it's a rotten egg, it's probably gonna be green or something. I think we need a fish, but again, it's gonna have a bone, so that doesn't really do much for coloring, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. All right, I'm going to lighten the pencil work so my ink pen doesn't pick it all up and get clogged. All right, let's get into it. I'm using a 0.5 micron. I think this is inked. All right, let's test out these watercolors and see what's up. JK, I actually felt like there was just too much white space, so I went back and added a bunch of more garbage just to make sure that I tested out all of the colors of this watercolor set. So there you go. Okay, I think I am finally done making additions to the line art. Let's just get to painting before I change my mind. All right, so I made this illustration with all the items to make sure that I was able to try out all the colors. So here we go. It's gonna be a colorful illustration. Putting this first flat down, they feel very smooth and very easy to get a nice even wash. So I do like that. It is so convenient to have a color chart or a swatch reference when you are making an illustration, because half of these colors are just black. At least all of the blues and purples, they just look so black. Watercolors are so pigmented. They're so dense of juicy colors that it's really hard to tell what they are when they're in pan form. So it's really important when you have your swatches. Let's see, for some reason I really want to make this trash can purple instead of gray like the raccoon, just to set it apart. So far so good. I'm really liking the feel of everything. So I'm going to just really go for it. For some reason I really want to color that carrot. Let's go in there. And let's have it fade from a straight orange pigment and then add some water and see if we can't get a nice gradient in there. Nice, nice. Though the carrot's looking a little pale, let's add a little bit more color to it. I mean, then again, it is in the trash. So we'll get our first layer up there, water our brush down, and start from the bottom. Work our way up, and whoa, 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 too much water. So we're starting off with our wet peel, and now I'm going to go in with some yellow ochre and add some spots that spread out with the wetness. Oh my gosh, that looks like a banana! Look at that, whoa! But it looks really good the way that it spreads out. It looks just like a banana. All right, I love it. So already I can tell that I definitely feel pretty comfortable with these watercolors. I don't feel like I'm having to work around any sort of weird powderiness or dryness or just any weirdness that usually comes with a cheaper watercolor. So far, so good. Why would someone take a beautiful picture of nature and then throw it away in the garbage? Wow. How could they? A few more blades of grass and some flowers. What a cute meadow. Let's put a heart on the Polaroid. But why did they throw it away? I don't get it. Okay, I think you guys have heard enough silliness from me while coloring this. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, and I will get back to you guys with my final thoughts about the paints. Enjoy the very quick process. And that concludes my Kuretakie Gansai Tambi watercolor test. Honestly, I was actually really impressed with these watercolors. I found no issues with them. There was very minimal issues with like the darker colors being like chalky. Some of them get a little weirdly thick and like jelly-like. I don't know how to explain it, but sometimes either a darker color is chalky or it's got this weird sticky, sugary-like consistency. Don't know how to explain it, but that's how I feel. I definitely recommend these watercolors to anyone starting off who doesn't want dollar store watercolors or they don't want to break the bank. This is definitely a really good middle ground watercolor. I love this, and I'm so happy that I tried them finally. So now when you guys ask me what a good watercolor to start off with that isn't super bad but isn't super expensive, I will tell you Kuretakie Gansai Tambi watercolors. They're great. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned something. Stay golden. Bye. And now a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons for all of their support. You guys are the best. If you want to be in the credits at the end of my videos, see secret sketches, coloring pages, early access, and more, check out my Patreon by clicking a link in the description. Thank you guys all so much for the support. Bye.